Arthur was a man of precision. He lived his life by a schedule so rigid it could have been etched in stone. At 62, he was the most successful clockmaker in the city, famous for creating watches that never lost a single second in a decade. His shop was a symphony of mechanical perfection, thousands of gears, springs, and pendulums all clicking in a synchronized, relentless chorus. Yet in the center of his living room sat a grandfather clock that was an anomaly. It was a beautiful piece, carved from dark, ancient oak given to him by his father on his deathbed. But for 40 years, the clock had been silent. The pendulum hung still. The hands never moved. Arthur had taken it apart 100 times. He had oiled every gear, replaced every spring, and polished every pivot. Mechanically, it was perfect. Yet, it refused to tick. He eventually dismissed it as a broken heirloom, a silent monument to his father's last mystery. One rainy Tuesday, Arthur's routine was interrupted. His young granddaughter, Maya, came over with a broken wooden bird she had found in the park. She didn't want it fixed for money. She wanted it fixed because she felt its song was trapped inside. Arthur started to explain that he was a busy man with a backlog of high-end Swiss watches. But then he looked at Maya's eyes, wide, hopeful, and full of a light he hadn't felt in years. He sighed, pushed aside a $3,000 chronometer, and spent the next 3 hours painstakingly carving a new wing for a worthless wooden toy. As he finished painting the last stroke of blue on the bird's wing, Maya hugged him. "You have a magic heart, Grandpa," she whispered. In that moment of pure, unprompted joy, a sound echoed through the house. Tick. Arthur froze. He walked into the living room. The grandfather clock's pendulum was swinging. For exactly 60 seconds, the house was filled with a deep, resonant rhythm. Then, as Maya left and Arthur returned to his ledger, it fell silent again. Over the next few weeks, Arthur became a detective of his own soul. He noticed the clock ticked when he stopped to feed the stray dog behind his shop. It ticked when he finally picked up the dusty violin he hadn't touched since his 20s and played a messy, soulful tune. It ticked when he visited an old friend in the hospital, ignoring the 3 missed calls from a demanding client. He realized the terrifying truth. The clock wasn't broken. He was. The clock didn't measure the passage of seconds. It measured the passage of life. For decades, he had been on time for everything but present for nothing. He was a master of chronos, the mechanical time that ticks away toward the grave, but a stranger to kairos, the qualitative time where the heart is truly alive. One evening, Arthur stood before the silent clock. He looked at his reflection in the glass. He was a wealthy man with a prestigious shop, but his living time, the time the clock recognized, totaled barely a few hours in 40 years. He made a choice. He sold the shop to his apprentice. He spent his days teaching neighborhood kids how to build things, not for profit, but for the sparkle in their eyes. He started a community garden. He wrote letters to the people he had hurt in his pursuit of efficiency. The house, once a tomb of silence, became a steady drumbeat of life. The clock ticked while he cooked for his neighbors. It ticked while he sat in the park watching the sunset without a watch on his wrist. It ticked as he fell in love again with the simple, unmeasured beauty of being alive. On the day Arthur passed away, peacefully in his sleep at 85, Maya went into his house. The grandfather clock had finally stopped. But when she looked at the face of the clock, she saw something new. On the back of the pendulum, Arthur had engraved a final message. Don't spend your life counting the seconds. Spend your life making the seconds count. The heart knows the difference between staying on time and being in time. Maya looked at the clock, then at the blue wooden bird on the mantle. She realized that while the world's clocks still ticked for everyone else, her grandfather was the only one who had truly owned his time. The life lesson: we often confuse being busy with being alive. Mechanical time is a gift we use to organize our world, but heart time is the only time that actually belongs to us. If your life feels silent, stop looking at your watch and start looking at what makes your heart beat faster. Purpose isn't found in the schedule. It's found in the moments where we forget the schedule entirely.
This has been Fable Breeze, where nature whispers and stories remind you who you are.